America great again. Troy Ave saying bacon, water with weight.
I'm in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Welcome back, welcome Black. In Black America Radio with your host, Rasta B. This is October 6th, 2017. And today's show, what the title is. So the Black Woke is speaking on economics and not economy yet. Guest calling number 646-716-4654. And let me go ahead and bring in my co-host, Smoke. Are you there?
Yo. What's good?
What's good?
Big Friday.
Yeah, man, we rushing into it, man. Not really rushing, but, I don't even want to waste any more time, you know what I'm saying? Blog Talk Radio just got its bullshit together with the mic. I'm able to use my damn mic again and my headset or whatever, so I'll probably sound clearer. And yeah, shit, let's do this, man. Let's get into the talks.
Word.
Yeah. Last show was pretty good. Man. I'm gonna thank everybody listening to well, let me slow it down. Sometimes I think I speak too fast. I would like to thank everyone who listened to last week's show. You know what I'm saying? It was like some big numbers. So I'd like to thank those people that listened, Had to tell some real shit, you know what I'm saying? It's like, put the emotions aside, put the feel good aside, and let's really ask the question, you know what I'm saying? Let's get past all the rhetoric, let's get into action. Past all of that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we got to.
You may not like what I say, you may not agree with what I say, but shit, you can't tell me that's not a thought, that's not an independent thought. It's an independent thought. Sometimes it might be a thought you have, but it's unpopular, and then you might talk yourself out of it and say, you know what, maybe it ain't like that. When it really is, so who knows? But, shit, how was your week, Smoke?
Shit, damn, busy-ass week, man. Seemed like I was doing shit from the time I get off, time to sleep. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, overall, you know what I'm saying, it was a good week. You know what I'm saying? As Friday came, we started getting better and better. You know what I mean? I ain't complaining.
Well, I know I'm going to say something for the people, because now I know I ain't tripping. The average saving per family, Smoke, guess how much that is?
How much?
$6,080. Decreasing. If you listen to previous shows,
like 10,000.
8,000. Yep. It was 8,000. Okay. And then the revenue per citizen, that was 10,000. Now it's 9,501. So the revenue per citizen is decreasing in America, and the savings per family in America is decreasing. So, in the United States national debt increased. We had 20 trillion or some shit. So, just to give you a little outlook on what's going on here. Just give you a little outlook. You know what I'm saying? Why, when we want to walk around talking bullshit and nonsense, when we need to be talking about some real shit, literally, you're not getting this information from nowhere else. You're not getting this information nowhere else. You're not getting these breakdowns from nowhere else. You getting everybody else who's gonna repeat and parakeet each other. You know what I'm saying? And feed off the same shit from the 90s and all kind of shit with that emotional shit. Let me show you how crazy it is with that emotional shit, Smoke. Jesse Jackson had niggas feeling like, yo, we should get mad if white people lock their doors when we pass their door, their car door. And they lock their doors, we should be offended. We should feel a way if white people want to cross the street. If we walking down the street, we should feel like, oh, why y'all crossing the street? Jesse Jackson made us feel like that. And then they started making us get into this emotional shit. And we started being emotional people. So sensitive. Worrying about the wrong shit.
Yeah,
now we
like
looking at
the protest.
Now I was just saying, we looking at the national debt and the savings per family is decreasing. And the revenue per citizen is decreasing. And we worrying about who the fuck like us. The wrong shit. We worry about the wrong shit. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's like when you put it in that sense, you know what I mean? When you show the numbers, and it's like it's a trend, you know what I mean? So when we first got introduced to that site where we got the numbers from, and we saw it, I want to say it was around 10,000. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, it was.
And so now you saying that it's 6,000, and that wasn't a year ago.
And let me tell you how it was. 10. Then I think it dropped down to 8. And I was like, wait a minute, was this always at 8? I thought it was high. I wasn't sure. So when I looked again this time and I seen it at 6, I said, oh, I know I ain't tripping.
Right.
I know I ain't tripping. That definitely wasn't 6. And the revenue per citizen was not 9,501.
Which means it's less than that for us.
Right.
And so,
right.
way less.
And that's basically what I'm saying. That's basically what I'm saying. When I'm saying that the U.S. Savings per family is 6, yeah, minus. To be generous, put that in half. But you know we doing worse than that. So it's like just
put us in 1,000, 0 to 1,000.
Word up.
We in that range.
Because I feel like we should be using these numbers as measuring tools into which we should say this is the guideline in which what we should have within our shit. As a family, we should at least have in our savings account $6,000. Even though it's supposed to be, it's dropping.
Right.
Even though it's dropping, but as a black person, still say to yourself, I should have at least 6,000 in my savings. You see what I'm saying? You should say to yourself, not so much your revenue per citizen, but let's just leave it let's just leave it simple, 6,000. So say to yourself, I need to have 6,000. Look at your saving account and say to yourself, do you have 6,000? If you do have 6,000, clap, congratulate yourself. Drop that 6,000 in a CD, right? And then start over again. You dig what I'm saying, Smoke? Drop that 6 in a CD and start over again. Get you another 6 up. You know, make sure you know how to do it again. You know what I'm saying? Just to make sure you know how to do it again. You got that discipline. Get you another 6 up. You got 6 inside your damn CD, sitting there, generating interest. And then you got another 6 you got stacked up. If you could do that, you good. All you need to do now is just worry about your bloodline and the rest of your future. But the rest of you black people worrying about belts, especially you black men worrying about belts and shoes and shit. Y'all turn into a bunch of fashionistas. Y'all need to definitely make sure your savings up. Because you know what I always say, Smoke? And let me ask you, because you already know what we're doing behind the scene, right? We don't want to speak on that. But one of the things I did, that's damn on the list. So I put 10,000 as the limit. You think that's a fair amount, or should we make it 15?
A limit to what?
The minimum, I meant, that you should have to even talk shit as a black person, as a black man.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. 15. It could be 15.
No, first
25.
I was thinking 10, but then I was like, but would 10
it's probably gonna be more than 10.
Right, it should be. No, I'm talking about at a minimum.
Oh, okay, yeah.
At the very
10.
least.
Yeah.
Because the reason why I say 10 is because if you got 3 people, you know what I'm saying? Y'all should all be able to pull up 10. That's 30,000. You see what I'm saying? But, or should I be like, nah, make the black man work hard and push that to 15 as the minimum?
I'll say 10.
Keep it as 10, keep it remedial. So
yeah,
we'll keep
you
it,
know what I'm saying, for the start. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for the start, yeah. Cause you don't want to discourage them and shit. You know what I'm saying? You got people with 10 right now crying like, oh man, I gotta get 5,000 more. I inherited this. My mama left this for me after she died. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, all right, we'll leave it at 10. Yeah, because my whole thing is this. You have motherfuckers running around talking about, 50 goons, 100 deep. You know how we used to do in the 90s and shit. You know, your entourage, it slimmed up a little, as the years went by. It slimmed up a lot. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got a little thin with the entourage. But, back in the day, we used to take pride in walking 100 deep. But out of 100 niggas, motherfuckers still couldn't scrape up $100. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all of that don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? None of that mean nothing. If you got 100 people like that, come on, y'all supposed to be able to be like, oh, it's 100,000. Let's put that into something and turn this into a multi-million-dollar business. We all can.
Or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is. A lot of times, like, you might not have 1,000. I put 5. You know what I'm saying? You might come up with 60,000. But it's still,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Even if it's 5, but the guys that you around, not even the guys that you around, as black men, it's supposed to be ingrained in our the same way we'll screw our face up at the thought of some gay shit, we should screw our face up at the thought of being a black man and not having your money right. You know what I'm saying? The same way you're not going to leave the house if you ain't fly and matching, we're supposed to have that same energy. The same way you got some black men, because I'm this way, where I would never be no police. You can't pay me to be a cop. You know what I'm saying? We need to have that same energy when it comes to our finances, where it's like, yo, the fuck you mean your bread ain't up? Like, I don't get that. You know what I'm saying? What you mean?
The thing is like, we be getting the money. It's just that we blow that shit. You know what I'm saying? And so when you go back to the stat you gave about the average income. So it went previously from the time period we first talked about it from 10,000 to now over 6,000. You think about our portion of that, and then you look at how our society spends money. So you see a lot of frivolous shit going on. So we probably don't even think like that. It's like we get the money. It's just that we giving it away. You know what I'm saying? It's like we gotta hold that shit, and so we gotta give up. We gotta give up the bullshit. So it's like when you talk about us, you see men with like a sneaker room with mad sneakers in there. It's like, man, you don't need that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand the getting fly shit. I like buying stuff. You know what I mean? I know how it go. You know what I mean? But it's just like the extra shit we have. And see, in our community, people look at that as the value. You know what I'm saying? And that makes you feel good. So you don't necessarily have to have a paper. You're going to get the benefits of having a paper just by having the bullshit. But you can't really do anything with it. So in our community, you could get the girl. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have homeboys if you fly. You got the new sneakers on. You know what I'm saying? People going to attract to you and fuck with you just based off of that. Oh, my son looks like he got it going. He popping bottles or whatever it is you got. Oh, you got the newest car. You're going to get the little basic shit, you know what I'm saying, that make you feel good. Like, oh, yeah, I can get a girl. I can get all that. But you can't get a house, you know what I'm saying? You can't really, that car you got ain't financed in your name. You got somebody else. You know what I'm saying? It's like we always can feel good about it. And so, like, when you look at what's going on, like, right now, like take, for example, the supposed protests in the NFL and shit. So it's like it's a feel good story, you know what I'm saying? It feel good. It's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying, brothers gonna stand up, they kneeling or whatever, you know what I'm saying? We feel good that we taking a stance against the NFL or whatever, or just as black people. But it ain't really accomplishing nothing. So it's like you doing this shit. So it's like the same shit. It's like we get the money, but we'll spend this shit on just shit that make us feel good. It ain't nothing to build us up. You know what I mean? Build our families and our empires up. We just gonna feel good.
Yeah, see, and that's that emotion shit again. You see what I'm saying? That goes back to that emotion shit. That's what I mean. I'm off that emotion shit. I'm on the real shit. Now, my shit is always, and always will be, yo, economy. We got to build an economy. These are the ways you build an economy. This is the point and purpose of an economy. And this is how you win when you have one. That's what always I'm going to speak on that. Now, what I start to notice is a lot of these so-called woke black people, everybody now talking about economics. Economics this, economics that, right? And then, didn't you send me something, Smoke? Yeah,
what was the name? I'm about to pull it out though.
Yeah, I just want to pull it up my damn stuff.
Yeah, this was on Boyce Watkins.
Yeah, the real Boyce Watkins.
IG. He was like, it is impossible to convince me that our people will reach equality without developing our own economic and political institutions.
You see what I'm saying? Now, even though that don't mean nothing to me, because you're still not talking about economy. You see what I'm saying? You're still not talking about economy, which is the end-all be-all of the whole shit. But it is impossible to convince me that our people will reach equality without developing our own economic and political institutions. What the fuck do that mean? Because what economic institutions are we supposed to be developing? And what political institute, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they say these words and they use these terms and it's supposed to mean something, but it means nothing. Just like when you hear people say shit like, oh, we have economic power, you always hear us say, right? Everybody loves to scream, you got economic power this, economic power that. So here's the question, Smoke. What is economic power? It is the power to produce and to trade what one has produced. In a free economy where no man or group of men can use physical coercion against anyone, economic power can be achieved only by voluntary means, by the voluntary choice and agreement of all those who participate in the process of production and trade. In a free market, all prices, wages, and profits are determined, not by the arbitrary whim of the rich or of the poor, not by anyone's greed or by anyone's need, but by the law of supply and demand. The mechanism of a free market reflects and sums up all the economic choices and decisions made by all the participants. Men trade their goods or services by mutual consent to mutual advantage according to their own independent, uncoerced judgment. A man can grow rich only if he is able to offer better value, better products or services at a lower price than others are able to offer. I'm going to read that top part one more time. What is economic power? It is the power to produce and to trade what one has produced. Now, Smoke, how many times do you hear black people say we have economic power?
Yeah, sometimes.
So if we have economic power, what the fuck are we producing to trade with somebody with what we produce in return?
Nothing.
You see what I'm saying? But they use these words, and this is what black people do.
Oh, no, I'm wrong. Man, we wrong, man. We produce criminals, man.
Oh, yeah, right. We produce criminals.
All of the criminals.
Fucking rappers, entertainers, coons, and sucking and jiving. That's all the fuck we goddamn produce. We produce.
They can't go off us.
That's it. I should have got the I'm trying to think where my Martin Luther King book. I think it's upstairs. But if I had the Martin Luther King book down here, I would have mentioned something that he said. I just lost my thought. But the whole point is they keep giving us. I would have mentioned when Martin Luther King said how black people look at equality as what the definition is, or whatever, or whatever it is we mean it, whatever we interpret it as, the definition to me. Where white people look at it as how many gains y'all made, you know what I'm saying, or whatever like that, for equality. And it's like we're doing the same shit again. We're letting people say shit to us, and we're accepting their understanding of the definition of the word and not really what these words mean. So when you don't get nothing in return, then you want to scream racism or some stupid shit.
Equality.
Yeah.
But I mean, equality gonna be achieved when we able to say we are strong against whoever we try to be equal with. It's like we be in this position because we don't have the industries, we don't have any economy, so we live off of everyone we say that is oppressing us. You know what I'm saying? We live off of them. We depend on them or their system to get money. You know what I'm saying? The majority of us is living like that. So it's like we can talk about equality, but until we're able to live and circulate our money that's earned amongst us to help build our own industries and, you know, fund our own schools and so forth, then we always have to be subject to the other economies that we got to live in. And they not going to make us equal because of some feel-good shit. It's like, this is a Chinese business. I'm going to make a black man the CEO? I doubt that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we gotta understand that. It's like we get emotional about it, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like we feel they owe us some shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's because we don't got our own shit. So it's like You know what I mean? It's like,
and we need to be asking
we gotta
the
understand that.
who poking out their chest in Congress, talking about how much they represent us. We need to be looking at them. What are you doing in Congress? Because see,
Right.
a lot of it, just like I keep saying, man, we're not experiencing racism in this country. Black people. With the exception of police gunning us down. Everything else that we're dealing with in this country, with the exception of police gunning us down, is the result of decisions that was made in the past and currently being made currently. So when you are relying on another race of people to work for jobs, and they decide how many work and how many, what percentage work and what percentage don't work, or what area gets jobs and what areas don't get jobs, and what gender get jobs. We're not going to hire the black men. We're going to hire the black women instead. How much you get paid and all kind of shit, how far you can advance and all kind of shit like that. You know what you're going to scream? Racism! But that's not racism. That's the effects of you working within their system instead of you having your own system to maneuver in. That's not racism. We are being convinced not to compete. We're being convinced to accept a wage instead of determining, how much, you know what I'm saying, like determining shit. We don't determine shit.
Determining your own wage. Determine your own wage. Your own salary.
But not even,
your own time.
But it's not even wage. We don't determine nothing in our lives. We don't determine shit. Even these niggas rapping. These niggas is caught up in a lifestyle they didn't even grow up in. But they need that money. They want that bread. We don't have control over nothing. We get named, we get placed, we get ridiculed. We'll sit there and fight for the rights of other groups of people, and when the same shit happened to us, you'll hear us talk about how that's different from and why we shouldn't complain about it. While when the same shit happened to another group of people, we'll sit there boo-hoo crying bloody murder. We have no control over nothing that goes on with us. Once you accept that, and how many times, Smoke, have I said, there's no man in America except the white man, and there's no woman in America except the white woman. None. None whatsoever. None. Once you accept these realities, then you don't gotta ask me what the fuck the problem is. What are black people dealing with? You don't gotta say that when you accept these realities. But when you don't accept these realities, I'm a man. I'm a man. I like waking up and going across town to work for another nigga to check. And coming home and can't guarantee a fucking future for my children. I like that. That's my plan. That's always been my plan. That's not circumstance.
Those are choices you was given. It's like, you got the choice, and it's like now you got to live within that, that box. Like, all right, these are the choices. Okay, I can excel in this box if I do this, and that's what I did, so I'm good. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? It's easy to come.
And peep the key word. Well, peep the key word. I'm good. So you got 3 children, daddy, daddy, daddy. I'm good. Daddy, daddy, daddy. Y'all better do what they say. If y'all want to live good like daddy, y'all better obey these laws. Y'all better listen to what that white man say. White man right now raising his kids. Just wrap this around your mind, black man and black woman. White man is raising his children to determine the wages and salary of your children. Wrap your mind around that. And then somebody could be sitting on the other side. It could be someone, because you know we got white listeners, so it could be somebody white listening saying, shit, I don't raise my child like that. I raise my child to find a good job to work. Yeah, within your white economy. But guess what? You can afford for both of y'all to play that game. The workers and the people's creating work. But in the black community, talk to somebody in the black community, a child, and say, raise that child up to be an entrepreneur. And guess what you're going to hear, Smoke? You're going to say, you damn right?
No,
or do you hear,
no.
You got black people scared to name their kids certain names. Out of fear they won't get a job. Like, wrap your mind around that. Wrap your mind around that. You have a child, man, black man. You have a child, black woman. Cause but then when you have the baby, you have to make sure this child has a Christian name. No, a unisex name. Because we at the point now that a Christian name not even good. I need a name that the person doing the hiring don't even know if this is a boy or a girl, black or white. This is how fucked up we got it now. We want the child. We don't want you to know if the child black, white, boy, or girl. Madison, go out there in the world. You figure it out. Go apply for a job now. But I'm a man. I'm a woman.
Psyche.
It's crazy, man. Motherfuckers scared to name their children out of fear that they're not gonna make it in this world. What if somebody can and the kid? And that's how low we are. That we don't even know what the fuck it is to be a man. So we take just making it as being a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember when me and my children's mother was going through it. So this is like when we first had, she was pregnant with my firstborn. I'm like, man, what the hell going on? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? Venting and shit like that. My first child, you know what I'm saying? I'm young. So I'm sitting over here like, well, younger than what I am now. I wasn't that young. I was in my 30s. So I was like, so I'm like, you know, like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why she bugging out? I don't get it. So all I'm hearing I say this. Happy wife, happy life. We know what they say. Whatever she say, you just gotta say yes, ma'am, and all that shit. I'm like, yo, I ain't cutting my nuts off to appease somebody. I was like, what the fuck is this? Is the advice that grown men give younger men? Is cut your nuts off and submit? Like, what? This is what goes out in the world now. I say the only man in America is the white man, and the only woman in America is the white woman. I say that because I'm looking at where's our economy. That's the heartbeat for. That's like the foundation for your square. Like when everybody want to talk about they standing on their square, right? That's like the foundation. That's your square. That means every action and everything that you do is going to be based upon your economy. Guess what you're not going to do, Smoke? You ain't going to be bringing in no cocaine and crack. You dig what I'm saying? Because that's going to destroy your economy. And we're not going to sit back and allow this shit to rock because it destroys your economy. You see what I'm saying? Black women not going to disrespect the black man. Black man not going to disrespect the black woman. Because we are all need each other because this is how this whole shit works.
We'll be working together.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
We'll be working together.
We run around telling each other what?
Minimal.
We have economic power. What's the economic power that we have? Don't you know?
We got power. It's called a battery pack. And we the battery pack for whatever economy we fucking with. You know what I'm saying? Like, you charged up? All right, come on. Come on, man. Let me plug into you. You got an open outlet? Oh, yeah, we know that. Boom. They charge up. Get right off of it.
We got as much power as the NBA players when Donald Sterling said all of his racist shit. For the Donald Sterling shit.
Right.
And we have as much power as the NFL. When Trump is putting his foot on the and let me address Trump these different establishments next for black people. When I see that shit, you know what I say to myself? Good. Because I get sick and tired of listening to black people talk bullshit. Oh, I got my guns. I'm ready for this race war. Let a cracker come over here. Okay. Yo, don't you know if we take all our $1 trillion, we could shut white supremacy down in a day. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I will see what I see. We walking around.
No, but see, it goes back to the point I was making earlier. It feel good. That shit sound mad good. Because if you think about the first layer, that shit is true. If you think about the first layer, that shit is true. If tomorrow niggas be like, yo, all white establishments or any other establishment not black, we not going to work. We ain't doing nothing. We ain't buying nothing for Walmart. None of that.
Right.
We'll be starved out in 2 days.
2 days.
Look. Niggas be going back to work like, yo.
No. We ain't going to go to work. We're going to be starved out. Then we're going to be mad at each other. Right? Then we're going to be fighting and killing each other. And then we're going to be out there begging Whitey for work. Because he's going to be like, we ain't going to hire y'all till y'all break y'all stuff. Then that's what they're going to do. You know what I'm saying?
And then it goes back to the point of we don't have an economic base. So it's not like we can say, well, all right, we're going to spend it in this newly formed factory over here and buy all of our toiletries from here. They make toilet paper, roll, napkins, everything. We get that from them. We get our wood supplies from these people who own land down here, and they make furniture. Or, whatever the case may be. It's like we don't have to go back and depend on one of these economies. If we don't spend with whites, then we're going to spend with Chinese. If we don't spend with them, we're going to spend with Indians, Arabs.
No, but let's be fair. Chinese is people of color, right? So they down for the cause. Right? Ain't that the plan? As long as we don't spend with whitey, right? As long as we don't spend with whitey, right? Right?
That ain't a good plan for me.
We could be the slave to everybody fucking else. But fuck whitey.
Be the same thing.
Yeah, fuck whitey.
You know what I'm saying? Why not us? Why not it just be us? Let's be a slave to our shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know what I'm saying?
Go spend $300 kicks from our stores and our factories that we produce and blah blah blah. You want to do that? Then all right, cool. Because then you building up a legacy for a black family with black kids, etc. You know what I'm saying? You wanna be a consumer? All right, cool. But we don't even have those establishments to take advantage of that. Everybody else is, you know what I'm saying?
So all we see, because all we into is rhetoric, and that's the point I was making against the whole Malcolm and Martin thing. We all into rhetoric, so it sounds good for us with the Zeke O'Malley shit to listen to the great idea. Oh, if we all unify, like we all just gonna walk one day and just stop, then everybody's gonna say, you know what? And let's play into what you said. Everybody say, you know what? We're pulling our money back from the white man. That lets you know that we don't even understand how the fucking money works. You know, that's like your son. That's like you got 5 children. They all get allowances and shit. And then you beat one of the children for doing something wrong. They say, you know what? We're not going to do chores. And we're pulling our money back. And we're not. And it's like, nigga, you get your money from me.
Cool. Take what's in your savings, and we're going to see how you're going to replenish it. When that $2 run out.
You get your money from me. You don't. Let me read it again, Smoke. What is economic power? It is the power to produce and to trade what one has produced. That's what economic power is. That's what it is. Now, let me define the difference between economic power and political power. Economic power is exercised by means of positive, by offering men a reward, an incentive, a payment of value. Political power is exercised by means of a negative, by the threat of punishment, injury, imprisonment, destruction. The businessman's tool is values. The bureaucrat's tool is fear. So watch this, Smoke. When you have an economy, that's how you produce shit to trade, right? That's how you establish wealth and shit, right? That's how you now pay politicians and you have political power. The politicians enact threats of punishment, injury, imprisonment, destruction. All of this is law. All of that is what law does. You dig what I'm saying? So the point, how this game works is you have your economy. You generate product. You sell product. You transfer wealth from other groups into your economy. That's how you increase your GDP within your economy by the products that you sell. Then you pay politicians to represent you and to lobby for your interest, in your group's interest, into politics. That's how you win. This is what black people doing, Smoke. We're working for other groups of people, getting money, spending money, being a consumer in other people's economies, thinking that we have economic power because we have money, not understanding that we do not generate money. Motherfuckers is cutting us checks. That's no different than Afghanistan and shit. If they're not producing products to sell that can increase their GDP and take care of the people in their country, and all they're doing is getting money that's coming in from the United States government, they cannot sustain themselves. They don't have an economy. That's black people. We don't have an economy. So then we think working, and because we have a lot of money, that's the same as fucking, I guess, wealth and GDP and economy and having power. So then we turn around and then we vote for politicians, right? We don't pay for their political run. We don't invest nothing. We just vote. And then these niggas get paid for by corporations and shit to go against us. Then we start screaming racism. We start screaming the system's rigged. We start saying
the money's grab, man.
Hey, we playing the game wrong. But before we continue, Smoke, we got a caller. Let's get this caller in. Caller 314-381. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hey, it's Pianki.
Hey, what's going on, brother?
What's going on, Pianki?
I'm doing fine, man.
Good to hear you.
And I've been listening to y'all talk while I was having a little bite to eat. And you have discovered the plot pretty well. And it needs a little bit of adjustment, I think. So
Okay.
I'm going to try to contribute. Now, the way we use this word, we, us, and our, that's a myth. Because I'll tell you why. The things that you're making mention of doing, the vast majority of, I'm going to say black people, they don't have a clue about that. They ain't thinking about that, right? I mean, Poo-Poo and Ray Ray and Malik, they don't have the slightest idea about these things that you're talking about. Now, you did say something correct when you made mention that you hear. Now, it's only a certain group of people that's talking this stuff, too. Like you made mention, we the 10th most powerful, richest country on earth based on what we spend, and that we need to have our own nation, and we need to pull away from the white man. Well, it's only a small group of people that's talking that, because the average person don't have that in mind. And this stuff about having your own nation without having to depend on other people is just totally ludicrous in today's world. Because how are you going to grow your food? And I ain't talking about taking the end of a carrot and going outside, sticking it in the ground. If you're going to have a nation, you got to be able to produce fertilizer. You got to be able to produce industrial gases in order to make that fertilizer. You have to be able to harness and have power generating stations and fuel for that to work. And that ain't no easy task, because you either got to buy these things for somebody, and who you going to buy them for? Well, you're going right back to white folks again. And you got to have somebody to come in and build them. Well, there you go right back to them again. Now, if they hate you that much, guess what? They're going to say, well, we ain't selling you this. Or it may not be just blunt. And what costs $2 billion, they probably say, well, we'll sell it to you for $8 billion.
Right.
So that's the reality of it. Now, if you're not producing young people that can move into these positions that's needed to operate these plants, then guess what? Here we go again. You're going to have to get somebody to operate the plant.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
when these plants blow up, man, they make a lot of noise, like a big boom.
Right.
So that's just the reality of it. Now I'm going to tell you something else. If this was an all-black country, let's say this country that people talk about forming, you're going to have the same dynamics that you have here. It may not be the same, but it'll be similar. You're going to have 10% of that black population, all black population, that's going to be controlling a whole lot of things. Then you're going to go on down till you have a large percentage, maybe 30%, that's down in the bottom. And depending on how things are, you're going to have them trying to figure out how I'm going to get out of this mess. If you had everybody in the country making, say, $100,000 a year, Well, who's going to pick up your garbage? Who's going to do those things like make up the housekeeping in your hotel? Well, there we go again. We have to import somebody. So people
See,
say
but I don't
these
think
things.
it's about. I don't think it's so much about everybody having 100,000 as much as it is that everybody's able to take care of their family. Because even if you're a garbage man, you might not have the same aspirations as somebody who wants to make 6-7 figures. You might be cool just taking care of your family and paying your bills off, but having food and you're not struggling.
Well,
You know
now
what I'm saying?
think
You're not
about
living
this.
below
Now.
poverty.
Think about this. If you paying $8 billion for something that costs $2 billion, well, that price of that plant's going to be reflected in the food you buy. Then you go on down the line with electricity and so on, so on, so on. Sooner or later, in order to pay for the cost of these facilities, it's going to be reflected in what people's paying for. So, in this society here, where you can get by with $35,000, the way things are, if you go to this other society that we're talking about, by the time all these costs is reflected into the price of food and the price of consumables, you're going to need to have $80,000 a year in order to survive. You follow me?
Yeah, but you gotta expect the
myself.
first couple of generations to have to struggle. You know what I'm saying? And go through the tough burden before we start to know how to produce our own refineries, generators, factories. You know what I'm saying? Where we're not dependent on. Because I'm also not against, if you have to learn from another race of people or you have to trade with, all of that is relative because you have to, because of the position that you're in. But once you learn it, like the Japanese, once they got to, learn how to make the motorcycles and stuff like that, they use that same technology to make everything else. You know what I'm saying? So it's like once you learn it and you teach it and you build another generation up that get better and stronger than the last generation, then I feel like things, you know what I'm saying, we as a people will get better. Not overnight, but, in time, 100
Well,
years.
it may take 100 years or so, or maybe even more.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look at Nigeria, for instance. Nigeria is in the mode of building power generating stations in order for them to have electricity. But the problem that they have, the people ain't paying their bills presently as it is now when they don't have electricity all day long.
Right.
So what investors are going to come in, or partnership, or contractors going to come in and build this project when the possibility of them not being able to get paid is not there. If the consumer is not paying for it, all right, if the consumer is not paying for what they have now based on the fact that they say, well, it's not reliable and so on, so on, so on, well, you got a problem.
See, but that'll be a smart electric company because if an electric company come inside, like they have the better grid, and they stamp themselves like, let's say, Nigerian power, and obviously to be a white or Indian man or something like that, and he guarantees that the electricity will be on all day, then people will pay for that guarantee. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can understand people not paying if they're not guaranteed to have the lights on. It's like, why am I going to guarantee you money? But if you get a new company, a new name, new branding, come into Nigeria, and then say this is guaranteed your lights will be on all day, it'll be more people paying.
Well, people ain't paying for. See, they use meters there. They went to the meter system, and people aren't paying for what the meters showed that they use. Now, if you don't have a consumable population that's earning a living, wages and salary, then quite naturally that's going to be a problem also. So these things are not easy. And, in that country there, you got the transmission company, which is owned by the government. You got a distribution company. You got a generating company, then you got those that provide the fuel for the generation. So if the transmission company don't collect the money from the people that's consuming the electricity, then they can't pay off the distribution company who can't pay off it goes right on down the line. So those things are easy to talk about, but if you ain't got the wherewithal to do it, and the people that's talking about this, they ain't got the wherewithal to do it. They just talk.
No.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's good to have someone to put ideas out there, and hopefully someone will catch up on it, especially someone who has the ability to do it.
Right. And I think the idea. Sometimes I think we just need a new narrative and an idea, because having the same idea of pulling out money and not spending it, we got to grow past that. I think that we need to start to think more so on building products that we need, like looking towards how do you manufacture socks, how do you manufacture furniture, how do you manufacture something that we need, forks, plates, spoons, something where we can transfer the money that we spend elsewhere. We can curve some of that money back towards us. But we don't have products. We should have a Dollar General. Everything that's inside of a Dollar General, we should have stores where we produce the things that we can sell out of a Dollar General type store.
Well, you got to be able to make those things that's sold in Dollar General, because Dollar General is getting majority of stuff from China through whatever arrangement. And people that's selling to their cousins and nephews, they're not going to sell to you at those family prices. So that's going to require manufacturing, producing someplace else, maybe down in the Caribbean, or maybe over in
the Caribbean.
Or over in Africa. You know what I'm saying? Somebody where the labor, it doesn't cost as much to live. Yeah, it's not that it's cheap labor. It just don't cost as much to live. You don't need $150 a day to live off of.
But
and if you don't take advantage, of that useful labor force and trade agreements and stuff like that.
No. All the stuff they're screaming on Trump about. Trump about.
I like Trump's educational plan. I like his tax plan. I voted for Trump for his issues. I ain't thinking about all that else. I don't care about him grabbing a woman by the vagina. Hell, I've done that myself every now and then. And still will if I get away with it.
I feel you.
Yeah, you got to look and see what these and you made a good observation when you said businesses control them politicians and politicians control them police actions. And that's exactly correct. If you ain't got no business, then you heck, all you doing is just voting when you do that. It's other businesses in outside that's buying up your politicians.
Yep. And that's what we don't get that, because we keep listening to the people in these higher positions tell us the game instead of us doing the research. So we think voting is just us going to the voting ballot box and pulling out a lever. So when it doesn't work, then we turn around and say voting don't work. And I'm like, no, voting do work. It's just that you're not playing the voting game correctly. It's like playing a video game and you didn't put your coin in to start the game, but you just moving the levers and pressing the buttons saying, oh, this game doesn't work. There's nothing happening because you ain't put that quarter in. You got to put the money in and pay the politicians. That's why the Dominicans in New York, all of them own the grocery stores. And they lock down from the mayor down. They make sure they have these things. The Chinese look out for the Chinese people. The Puerto Ricans, everybody look out for their own. Black people, we keep thinking it's a ballot situation and it's a business situation. So you can't scream jobs to a people when you know jobs ain't how you get your politicians.
No, but I foresee the thing. Another thing. Blacks live in these economic marketplaces in these states where they are, a large population percentage. Like Louisiana and Mississippi and places like that. Some of them counties in Mississippi, I think it's 18 of them, where blacks make up about 70% plus. Well, the marketplaces, blacks supposed to be controlling them. From the agriculture and as many services as you possibly can, especially in the school district. The school district lunch programs, those other services that's needed, trash pickup, and especially your school. How are you going to produce engineers if you got lousy elementary schools and high schools?
And we get used to it because we keep thinking that white people, even though white people are given something to a certain degree, but that's because it's their economy. But the government pays for these public schools. The black business community is supposed to cut a check for these public schools too. And the people who attend these schools, when you got your children go to these schools, you can cut a check too to these schools. So there's really no excuse why these schools can't be properly funded. But if we all sitting back with our hands up in the air saying, it ain't my job, it ain't my job, it ain't my job, even in the predominantly black area where we got the funding, we got the representation, we still not going to see it because there's no economy, which I think will keep us focused, understanding that we do need each other at least to think betterment for the race. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But if you don't got an economy, all we think is for self. And if I could get me a good job, fuck you, I'm good. Because you can work for somebody else. And I think that's what really keeps black people from even valuing one another, because there's no purpose for us to even get along because we're in competition with one another.
Well, I wouldn't give my money to a public school. I give it to a private school, because when you get that money in a public school, you have no control where it's being used. And schools should be where a specific thing is being taught, whether it's biomedical, engineer, hey, even baseball. Down in Florida, this IMG schools, they have regular classes. Then the rest of the part of the day, they out there learning baseball on the field.
Wow.
And that's what they do, just like a trade school. So, that's things that can be done.
In baseball heavy, major leagues, getting those contracts.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. See, but we need something like that where we just have a certain kids where we not even, your whole purpose is just to learn trade. You learning welding, plumbing, electrical, carpentry, farming. Because even when it comes to farming, it ain't just dropping the seed in the dirt and adding water. You need to know the pH of the soil, the acid, the phosphorus and the different nutrients that got to be inside there, and you know what I'm saying, the temperatures and the humidity.
The latest technology in irrigation. Yeah. That old method of them, that big ass grasshopper looking contraption that go around in a semicircle. You can't do that anymore. You got to have more conservative ways of watering your plants. Drone technology is incorporated in agriculture now.
Yep.
You can have instruments on a drone that can measure the mineral content of the soil in different places on your crops, so you know where to put fertilizer.
Yep.
All that stuff.
That's the type of stuff we need. But see, I feel like we're in a state where, let's say best case scenario type situation, the kids that you know, like certain kids, you pull out a good certain 100, 200, All you're learning is agriculture. All you're learning, like you're learning your basics, math, reading, and all that. But just like the baseball school, you getting down to this dirt. We raised in a whole generation, you know what I'm saying, of farmers and, you know what I'm saying, botanists and things of this nature, because these are the things that we need. We don't need to say, let them all go through the school system as regular structures in America, and whoever showed interest, those are the ones we were handpicked to come. No, we need to take 100 kids. Listen, this is a at-risk program. Y'all was in and out of jails, and this is your last chance. Pick up this hose, pick up this shovel. Let's get down to this dirt.
I agree with you, man. If you have something for these young people to do, then they wouldn't have time to get in trouble. Then you can have black businesses that can hire as many as they own that they possibly can. Plus, they are well skilled. You can't be hiring somebody just because they're black.
Exactly. You got to have the skills. You got to have the skills. And then that's what I mean. And this is what I also feel. That once this happens, and let's say another 50, 100 years where it's taken off, it's not even a starter, it's becoming second nature that we're doing this, to the point where it's not even that the kids are being raised this way now. They're not even at-risk kids no more. I say that's when black people is going to start to experience racism. This stuff we're dealing with now isn't racism. I feel like that's when we're going to experience racism once we start doing for self. Because that's when we're going to feel, because then there's no excuse. You can't say, well, if we wasn't killing each other, well, if we married our woman, if we stayed in the home, if we wasn't doing, there's no excuses now. So when you doing right, and then you seeing now these people now saying, wow, your economy is stronger than ours, and they're attacking you and killing the businessmen like they did back in the day, then you're going to say, oh, this is what racism is. Not all of that feel-good emotional shit they're telling me in 2017. Not, oh, something's racist because this white woman want to deal with a black man and somebody don't like that. That's emotional shit. Oh, somebody don't hire somebody. That's emotional shit. When we stand on our own, and then you see laws getting passed saying, oh, black men can no longer own business, and you're like, yo, what the fuck? That's racism. You see what I'm saying? I think that's what black people, we don't even realize that's what our ancestors were dealing with. It was all of that, even Martin Luther King said it, all that sitting next to each other at the counter and all that shit. He said, that's cool, but that ain't do nothing. He said, that didn't break no money from the United States government. He said, now let's get into the economics. Let's get into the economy. Let's get into now merging our economies, and then that's when, pew, pew, sniped out.
And see, here's
everybody
another thing, too.
Emotion. Yeah.
We go to these damn concerts, which is all right. But there need to be more African Americans that's going to these trade shows, like the one in Atlanta that's called the International Food Processing Poultry Trade Show that's held in that big old auditorium facility there in Atlanta. And by the way, the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, the lead construction contractors on there was black companies, H.J. Russell and Moody. And I mean, they done a damn good job. I mean, that type of the ability to complete major projects like that, you are valuable. You're worth something. But these trade shows, you can go to these trade shows and you can see all the different technology and equipment and material that provides the infrastructure for building these plants for production, food production, packaging, mixing, processing. All that is shown there. The raising of chickens, equipment there for you could do that. They have other ones that's designed on the producing of power a Gen Set that's going to be held in Las Vegas, I believe the latter part of this month or in November 1, where all the companies in the world come together and they put their major products on display, whether it's turbines for generating electricity or whatever. It's going to be there on display. And in other areas, they have similar type of conventions in these trade shows, these exhibitions, and so on and so on.
Oh, okay, I'm going to have to check that out.
Where you at? You down in Atlanta?
Yeah, I'm out here in Atlanta.
Oh, well, you know what I'm talking about. What's that? I was at that expo hall.
Let me see.
Across. I can't think of the name of it. But it's a big-ass place, man. You couldn't see all that in one day.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Cause I always heard of the trade shows. I never knew what it really was. So I never.
You got to go there if you talking about doing for self. You got to go there to those trade shows because then you can talk to people and what it is that you contemplating on doing. That's where those are the people that you go to in order to get the equipment, the machinery in order to do it.
Okay,
and then, here's another thing, too, man. We in some good times now because you got all this competition that's going on in the world. You don't have to just stick with U.S.-produced goods and material. Nope. You got other countries around the world that provide you with material. But at the same time, United States pays out some pretty damn good incentives for those that use U.S. manufactured goods for specific projects in other countries around the world, especially in Africa. On the Power Africa initiative, that is building power generating stations. If you use American-produced components, they will provide grants toward that project just because you use an American-produced product. And guess who else do that? China does too.
So China
provide grants. They provide grants for you to do feasibility studies. You can't open up a major supermarket in any city, in any area, unless you do a feasibility study. That feasibility study tells you who the demographics are, how much money that groups of people are spending on groceries, what items they're spending on, the days that they spend it on, where they live, how far they're willing to travel. That's valuable data that you need in order to see whether or not this venture is going to work on paper. If it don't work on paper, it ain't going to work in real life.
Wow. That's interesting. So I'm trying to see. I'm trying to look it up, but I definitely want to check out this trade show thing too because I feel like a lot of times we don't know.
Food processing and poultry. It's the International Food Processing and Poultry Exhibition. Is what they call it.
But I feel like a lot of times we don't know the information. So once we know, now we know where to go, what to look at. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like a lot of times we're just bred into a job worker mentality. So you can have all the options in front of you on what to do to start everything yourself, but if your eyes ain't trained to see that, it's like Chinese, like it's written in Chinese. You won't even know what to do.
Yeah, because what I be thinking about too is like like it don't have to be like some big scale shit because like I think about like the Chinese bus, you know what I mean, that it runs from like Atlanta all the way. I think it goes to Miami now, but it used to go from Atlanta to New York and make stops in between. It stops out here in South Carolina, and then like over the years, it's expanded to more places. So I rode it for like a couple months ago, and it's like $60 to go from South Carolina to New York or whatever, like $60. And like Chinese people running the bus. You know, they might have 2 drivers on there. They switch up. They have a route that they go to, and it was like it was small, and then now it's much bigger, and they undercutting the prices of Greyhound and things like that. So, and when I'm on the bus, I'm seeing nothing but us, nothing but black people.
You're riding their bus.
Right, exactly. That's patronizing. So both ways. So it's like, yeah, man. It's like it's things that we could do and control.
Wait, so
right now,
the name of that thing is the International Production and Processing Expo. It's going to be January the 30th to February the 1st, 2018. You can do ippexpo.com. I as in India, ppexpo.com.
I got it.
It's the Andrew Young International. No, I'm sorry. It's the Georgia World Congress Center.
Yeah, the address is Andrew Young International Boulevard. 285.
Man, that is a humongous place. I didn't see many Black Americans. I see a lot of Nigerians there.
Oh yeah, because they on ippexpo.org. Yeah.
.com.
Oh, they got an org on the one I'm looking at.
Yeah, the one I got on, they got a stream showing people walking in the hall and everything.
Yeah, me too. It said register by January 1st or say.
All right, you got it. So that's just one on that particular time. Did they have that stuff, man?
Oh, no, that is dope. That is dope. I'm looking at a noodle maker or something like that that just passed by. That is dope. Yeah. I'm definitely gonna see about going here and bring my boys. Because just to see it, you know what I'm saying? Because I've never been to nothing like this before. Just to see it and to have that so my sons them can see and let that be a normal thing within their reality. Because
early registration is only $50.
Oh yeah, see what I'm talking about? We all got $50. It's just that we don't have the information. But we got the money, but we just don't got that information. So
they have shows on everything, man. Even sex toys. They have China had a show in Las Vegas, and this black woman, young lady, who was a stripper. She probably still, she was stripping at the time, and she went, and she got ideas, and now she's doing her own business along those lines, and she probably will propel from there off to something else. I have a friend of mine who owns a company called Daylight Nutrition. They on the website too. He was selling herbs. Daylight Nutrition. He would sell herbs of various types. His main product is called P Clean, where when people may be at work and they got to do a drop, you take those capsules, and he guaranteed that it'll clear your urine. But what he done, he's very smart. I've been doing it for a while, and I've been trying to encourage him. He finally went out and got equipment where he can mix and capsule and tablet and package his own stuff. He built a laboratory that's approved by the Federal Drug Administration, and he's working in a building that's also occupied with another brother who does pharmaceuticals products. He's distributing them. So that's what you got to do. He got the products from China. His machinery, he got everything from China.
Yeah.
Mixers, the exhaust fan. I help him put up a wall, help him put them fans in, and you walk in one door, then it closes, and you go into the other door to get into the laboratory. You go through a bio area where you gotta sanitize yourself and everything, and all that. So he's making all kind of money because now he don't depend on other people to do his packaging, his mixing, his capsulating, and things like that.
But that's how we always have to see. What I try to explain to black people is everything is competition, and the Chinese is pretty much a good example to look at because they are copycats. Whatever you do, they will bite your shit and then sell it back to you for a cheaper price. Now, the funny thing about the whole Chinese bus thing is this. There's two parts that was interesting in that story that you said, Simone. The one part is this is a Chinese business, right? That's correct, right, Simone? And you said the majority of people you saw on it were black people, right?
Yep.
You ain't see Chinese people on there, right?
No, I saw the driver.
So do that. So here's my question now. And we see this with a lot of Chinese business. Do that mean Chinese don't support Chinese?
Nah.
Right? Do that mean Chinese don't support Chinese? And then the second part is this. If we out here now and we seeing that all of these black people is using the bus to go from New York to Atlanta, DC to whatever, and things of this nature, why we don't say to ourselves, you know what? We need to create our own bus line because obviously the market's there to compete against the Chinese bus.
Yeah. The buses ain't
Carve
the
that
best
money.
buses. They not the top of the line buses. It's good enough to get you on that ride.
But
I heard about that service too.
Yeah.
I heard about that service on the East Coast to run down the coastline.
Nope.
Man, I'm gonna tell you something.
Ohio now.
I don't understand it. Why come? And what the heck? All does it take to get a bus line? You know what I'm saying? That's not like trying to land a rocket on the moon.
Right.
And black people used to have buses like that. They used to have those tour buses.
Yeah.
It seemed like when those folks died, then the business just went to the wayside.
Too, yo. The business died too, because everybody. Now, I always say this. I need a year. So what was the last year that you remember seeing one of those buses?
Man, it's been a while since I've seen one.
See, if you could think of a year within the 70s.
All right, I think. No, it was about the 80s, man, when I stopped seeing Richard Wright.
That's what I remember. I remember the last time I remember was around the 80s too, right? But I'm trying to think. If the 70s, I feel like the 70s was the peak of black excellence, and then it was downhill from then. The 80s, we know we got hit with drugs. And once that knocked out that one generation, I think it knocked us out of ownership and business mind frame and kept us into a worker mind frame. And all we know now is just work. Because it seemed like anytime we had ideas like that, like if you would have told black people before the Chinese bus and said, you know what, if Greyhound got these buses, let's get our own bus and we could take a trip from New York all the way down to Atlanta. A lot of black people in Atlanta, vice versa, go back to New York and shit to do that and get bread. Black people be like, that's a dumb idea. It's like we don't have that idea of take over entrepreneurial shit, American dream, none of that shit yet. We just content with work.
Me and a Nigerian is looking into providing solar refrigerators and freezers in his country. And you can get those a kit where you have electrical solar cells to provide enough power to operate either 21 cubic foot, 14 or 9.5 cubic feet freezer, a chest type freezer, or a 13 cubic foot refrigerator. 21 cubic foot is a big ass freezer. And you're talking about $800. $800. You can get that a unit from China. If you buy more, you say 50 or 100 units, you're going to have a better deal. Right. And those people would pay for it. Because what? We just got through talking about earlier how the electricity is not dependable. But you can take those things out in the bush, what we call suburbs, and they would be willing to buy for it. Think about having that type of device in your clinics, your medical facilities, way out in the rural area, where they can keep medicines cold, so on and so on.
Yep.
So it's
what
all
you getting
sorts
in bulk?
of.
That's getting in bulk, you said? Yeah.
Well, yeah, you got to have at least you want to ship it over there in a container. You got to do your marketing, do your due diligence, homework, and have at it.
Nah. That's something else, yeah. But people don't understand, too, that there's a lot of money in America. There's a lot of money in the world. You see what I'm saying? But if you just caught into a worker mentality, you can't imagine the money that's out there. But there's a lot. Chris Rock even revealed that. He said that if the average person knew how much money the wealthy really had, the average person would uprise and start burning shit down.
Well, get a book called Fortune at the Bottom of the Pyramid that talks about this very thing.
You said
Fortune at the Bottom of the Pyramid.
Okay. Fortune at the Bottom of the Pyramid.
Good books. Another book, The Mysteries of Capitalism, by DeSantos. That's a good book, too. That's what we need to have our children read more books on creating wealth instead of so much ancient history.
Yeah, I mean, because my thing is this: I'm not opposed to the ancient history and knowing what our ancestors did, but that's for the children to understand, to build their self-esteem up. And I feel like for the adults, if we did it then that means we're fully capable of doing it now. So it's like I don't understand the purpose of getting too caught up romanticizing about the past, when the way I understand it is, if you tell me that my ancestors was great and that's a part of me, then all that means is I just have to do it. That is it. Mm-hmm. I don't have to call upon nothing. I don't have to do nothing
mix up some
special. Yeah, I don't got to do that. I just got to do it. Because you telling me my ancestors already did it. So if they already did it, that means my task is easy. All I have to do is just do it because it was already did. Everybody that talks the Bible, we already know there's nothing new under the sun. So there's nothing new under the sun, and everything that was already done and all that stuff was already did. That means it's easy. All we have to do is stand up and do it. But once you get caught up in thinking that our ancient this or ancestral that or these stories these people are greater than us, then I feel like what that does, it makes you feel like you can never reach their level because you're a lower form or something weird like that. And I can't subscribe to that. My whole thing is they did it, so then all I got to do is do it. Yeah, easy.
Then you got idiots out here, just like you talking about doing something, they come up, well, we had Black Wall Street and they burned that down. Well, we had this, that, and they rioted and tore it up. And they made us work for nothing. You need to run them fools out the room. Because all they doing is putting doubt in your mind.
Right.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah. They're the funny ones. I always say, if I was a white dude and I was feeling down, feeling like I'm losing my country and, I'm just feeling down as a white person, All you gotta do is listen to those type of black people because they sound they're more for white people oppressing black people than for black people. Because everything is, you can't do this black person, you can't do that black person. The white man got all the power, he got all the smarts, he got all the guns, he got anything you want to do, you're gonna fail. And if I'm white, I'll be like, you know what? I was feeling bad, but you know what? You're right. Whatever they do, they will fail. That's it. Because
but if you black, you're
going
to be like, why do anything? You know what I'm saying? Why do anything? I might as well just sip on this liquor and get, you know what I mean, just waste my life away.
Or just be angry. I'm going to be angry at white people all day. I'm going to be angry at white people all day. Because they're so powerful that I can't get out of my rut. Because I'm believing the narrative that a man who has to shit and piss just like me, who if he don't eat, he gonna die just like me, he got control over my life. I can't subscribe to the ideology.
I think some people these folks are just, people that talk about that must have had some bad experience with some white folks, man. Must have got their ass whooped or something else. I don't know. You could talk about doing all kinds. Man, white man ain't gonna let you do that. I said, boy, I tell you, they must have got their ass kicked or something at some point in their years. And they will talk you down when you try to start talking things like that.
Yeah, they'll fight you. They're more offended that you wanna compete with this white man. Like they're ready to chop your head off. And it's like I don't get that. I can't subscribe to that ideology. These are people. I can't just subscribe to the ideology. Oh, that's all right, because when God comes, he gonna strike the white man down. And I'm like, wait a minute, you telling me an entity? An entity has to destroy these humans to get them off your back? These are humans. These aren't special people that breathe fire and dragon and fly in the sky and could zap you with their eyes and stuff like that. If white people it could walk through walls and all kinds of stuff like that, I get why black people is afraid. But last time I checked, these people bleed just like us. So I don't understand the ideology of black men who's on TV crying because Trump won, and not saying, you know what, it's time for us to, as white people are screaming they want to take back their country, it's time for black people to say, and let's take back ours. Straight up. Because we had black America when I was born. I remember black America. I don't even hear people say black America anymore. I don't even hear nobody say black America no more. But I remember hearing that when I was a kid. So we got something that we need to rebuild. Straight up.
Definitely.
That's how I feel with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because we sitting around over here now, and that's why we keep asking the same stupid shit. We want equality. We want to be treated well. We want to be treated a certain way. We want to do a certain. It's just like none of that stuff would matter if we was doing for self. If we was doing for self, we wouldn't be caring about nothing. Look at Uber. Oh, watch this. Look at Uber. Black people should have came out with Uber. The way we was getting discriminated by the taxi.
Right.
By the taxi game.
That's right.
Who would have been the perfect people to come out with Uber? It's not black people. The Jamaicans had the dollar van. You see what I'm saying? The Jamaicans had the dollar van on Flatbush. But see, we don't want to compete. We don't want to expand, and me personally, I feel like it's because we don't have an economy. So if you don't have an economy, you don't really understand what it is you're doing all of this for. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't get that. It's like a man who don't understand the importance of a family, a strong family. So he having babies all around town with all these women, not taking care of none of the kids. And he just chilling. And he like, why everybody looking at me all fucked up? And it's like, nigga, you got all these kids out here. These kids don't know who you is. They don't got nothing that all your experiences. They ain't gonna know none of that. They gonna make the same choices, dumb decisions you made. And you know what I'm saying? But he don't get it. Why should I stay here for what? That once you understand the importance of having a family and understand why you need to raise your children up create a strong bloodline, you won't have babies all around us the town. If we understood economy and understood the importance of the economy, I think you would see more black people come, really, not even gonna say come together, but really look at business as we need to produce something. I could make this and sell this. Wait a minute, you mean to tell me they coming out with fidget spinners? Like, yo, I can make something way better than this. Oh, they got a Chinese bus? We're African American bus. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they got Uber. We're gonna have some shit just for black people so we can do that. We always supposed to have a black version of everything that somebody else doing to cater to the needs of black people, because we are so unique as a people that we know for a fact we're going to get discriminated against. That's why we need our own shit. Meaning we are the prime target of people to have our own carving of shit specifically for our own. But we don't. We allow other people to make money off of us and then scream racism when they treat you the same way you treat a homeless person in the street. That's how other races treat black people.
And you know another thing too, blacks gotta get your society together to the point where a black person, a criminal, would be scared as hell to do something wrong in your society, in your community.
Yep. And I believe in pro-violence. I am pro-violence. I am pro-violence. I do believe violence do balance the order of shit in life. Yeah, because this is my thing. How do you think a 90-year-old black woman, why she won't wear blue in a blood neighborhood? Or a 90-year-old black woman won't wear red in a Crip neighborhood? You know what I'm saying? That's because she like, okay, these niggas out here crazy. I'm not going to get caught up in the hoo-hoo shit. Same thing when it comes to our communities. If we see, oh, there's a dude out here, he raping women, there ain't supposed to be no police called for that. He's supposed to have his head chopped off right there on the corner. That way people know, this neighborhood here, no, we don't do that rape shit. No, over here, we don't do that rape shit. We don't do that molestation shit. Our old people could walk to town. They can walk up and down here. We don't do that disrespect here. There's men in this community. You see what I'm saying? And then you're gonna see, oh, okay, y'all cool out. Then y'all expand that. Just like we do gangs, y'all expand that. You know what I'm saying? And shit like that. That way it turned from one block to this whole neighborhood, this whole district, this whole county. Now it's wherever black communities are. Like, instead of the police having, this is where this gang is, this is where that gang is, police is like, yeah, we can't drive and fuck around in this neighborhood, and we can't drive fucking around in that neighborhood, because these brothers here, they started here. Now, these groups here, they still a little weak here. We could knock a couple of heads over here, but not over here, because they solid over there, too. They spread it. That's how we have to do it. And we do need the violence, because we need black people to know that going against us is death. If we find out, oh, okay, because we got people in the police station. So if we find out you in there snitching, oh, okay, you're going to get that South African necktie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Straight up.
And if these police don't do like you want them to do, then you start talking about cutting some damn wages and salaries.
Oh yeah. Because that's once again with business, all of that deals with the police. And guess what? You deal with the hiring, the firing, who's the police commissioner, and you tell police, guess what? We don't do that violent shit here. You're not going to do that here. Marijuana, we don't get arrested for marijuana in this neighborhood. Not over here. We pay.
You know, another thing too, man. They're going to start using these lithium titanate batteries. They're getting away from the lithium ion. You can start a distributorship business distributing these new innovation technology batteries for less than $1,000, around $1,000. So that's something that people can look into and get involved. Those, of course, you already got these in Atlanta. Those charging stations for those electric cars.
Yeah.
I've seen those at some Walmart stores when I be down there. But I remember, but you know, another thing they're gonna start having is those gas vehicles, those hybrids, those vehicles that run off of natural gas, and they're gonna need filling stations for them. And the last time I seen one of those was years ago when I was out in L.A. I drove one of those cars. So getting involved and trying to monopolize things along those areas is what we got to do. Well, I ain't going to say we got to do, but I'm saying that's what needs to be done.
Right.
I'm going to get away from talking about we.
Yeah.
Right, the ones with the eyes. I'm going to get away from talking about that we got to, because it just ain't true. It's just ones who got the audacity to see and put things in place to make it work. And you know what? Blacks down south, on those black farms and that, and you got those cooperatives, those federations of black farmers and those cooperatives. And see what a cooperative do. Let's say you up north in a city, or say you over in Atlanta, and you're going to need, over a period of time, say 10 metric tons of collard greens. Well, you as an individual entity, you can't go around and talk to no 50 or 60 farmers. That's what their cooperative's responsibility is to do. That's why the U.S. Department of Agriculture gives them funds, so that they can organize farmers on no matter what crop they're selling to fill a need. You just call their cooperative and say, look, can you source me X number of this, that, or the other? And they will get back with you and let you know, yes, we can, when you're going to need it. Or they'll say, this is when it will be available. Now, all you need now is your own truckers, your African-American truckers.
And
so
we
they
got
can
that.
come from, right.
We got that.
You need your African-American truckers. You also need to have a warehouse to warehouse those produce until it's time for them to be trucked. Then when your truckers come up and start, they make their route, they might go Georgia on over to the Carolinas, and when they go there and when they empty, they need to be taking something, picking something up to bring it back, so they ain't coming back an empty truck. They're coming back full.
Yep. So we definitely got. I know we definitely got the truck. We definitely got that. But the co-op. That's interesting because I always wondered that. Like if you have the grocery store, then how would that work with the getting the farmers and all of that? But that makes better sense with the co-op.
Those federations, they're the ones that do it. I can give you the phone numbers of some. Well, I tell you better yet, just go to Alcorn University, Alcorn State. They can hook you up with all that.
Alcorn.
The agriculture department.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all of this
Well, I
is
tell
good
you what,
information.
hang on. I got the information right over here. Let me get it.
All right. Yeah, because all of this is good information because, like I said, a lot of times we just don't know. You know what I'm saying, Smoke? A lot of times we just don't know. Yeah. A lot of times it's not even so much that we're lazy or we don't want to do it. A lot of times we really just don't have a clue. And if you put the tools out there, and it's not the weak, it is the ones who have who really wants to do it. They can then get the information and say, you know what, let's do it.
All right, I got these numbers for you.
All right.
You got the Mississippi Family Farmers Association. Their number is 662-458-0983. Then you got the Federation of Southern Cooperatives. That number down there is 404-734-8511. Then you got the Arkansas Land and Farm Development Corporation, Calvin King. I don't know if he's still around. And their number is 870-734-1140. And there's a lot of things going on with blacks in farming. Not as much as it should be, but a lot of things is going on. Alcorn State University, 601-877-6100.
Yeah.
You know, all of these immigrants that's coming into the country that's following the Muslim faith, on certain traditional days, they got to have sheep because they, you know, one of their traditions is to slaughter a sheep and have it for, you know.
Sheep.
Yeah, that's what they do. They slaughter sheep. You can buy a baby lamb for about $25. And you raise them in about, I forget how many months, not in a long time. You can sell them things for upwards of $250, $300 a piece when they get up to mature weight. And you can put them out in the field where they eat grass. You can section that field off, leave them in this area for a while, then move them over. Then where you move them from is growing back up. You can bring in some more babies and do that again. Then bring in some more babies. Then after a period of time, the first group is ready to slaughter. Then the next group is ready to slaughter. If you have about 500 sheep, that's going to bring you about $300,000 in revenue.
Yeah. That's why we got to get this property up. Because I think the good thing about the information that's being given is for the black person out there who have this, I don't want to say the word disposable money, but understand what I'm saying, who have money that they're probably just going to blow. At least they now can hear this and say to themselves, you know what? Instead of me getting them sneakers or blowing it, drinking, and going to the club, shit, let me look into the baby lamb. Let me look into
they can look into something
profit.
They can look into something small that they can handle.
Right. Something small that they can handle. And you know what that do too, Tianki? That stops the argument of, but the banks, they won't lend to us. The banks, they won't lend to us. But then start small and get your money up. You ain't got to worry about that. You'll have your bread up.
You ever read Amos Wilson's Blueprint for Black Power?
Not yet.
No, I ain't read. I heard of that book.
Read that book. It talks about these groups.
I'm trying to get it. But my money is short. But I'm trying to get it in my list. Yeah.
It talks about them immigrants groups like the Afghan refugees who put their money together, put their carpentry skills and stuff together, start opening up storefronts and that, doing chicken. KFC, Kennedy Fried Chicken, competing against Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah.
Them dudes done good, man. Talks about the Koreans.
But it's the same thing. They copying. You see what I'm saying? They're sitting there seeing, oh shit, black people buying all this chicken from KFC and Popeyes. Let's open up our own chicken thing and sell to the blacks. They making the same money that KFC them making and more. And black people, I don't want to eat chicken in front of white people. That's racist. What?
Yeah. That's crazy. And this stuff talking about white supremacy, man. Whites get beat all the damn time. Look who's controlling shipbuilding in the world. It's them Koreans and Chinese working with Koreans. And also, you know, on YouTube, you can look at that world largest cargo ship that's being made for Marsh, M-A-E-R, that shipping company, that cargo shipping company. Koreans made that. That damn ship is 1,200 feet long. The propellers was made in Germany. It cost $1 million a piece. It has dual propellers. And the shipping company put in an order for 20 of them. It take them 38 weeks to make one.
Wow.
European countries can't compete with them. And you know America can't. Not their companies, not with that. Now, they can provide some parts, some components, should I say, that's critical for the operation. But that's just the way it is. Them Koreans with Hyundai and Daewoo, Samsung. That Samsung is a conglomerate. And they started off in the 30s. You know what they used to do back then? They were doing apples and oranges, lettuce. Then they went into electronics. Then they went from electronics into various different things, including washing machines and dryers. But they also build ships.
Wow.
There's a brother down in New Orleans that's got a shipping line.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
What's his name?
Hang on, I get it for you. You know me. I have to know who these people are because we use them. His name is Next Gen Marine. His site, NEXTGEN Marine, MARINE.net.
See, that's like I said, man. I'm just glad the information's out there so the people can hear it and apply it. Those that can and want to, because I don't understand how do we think being the workforce and the consumer force for other groups of people is a smart idea, you know?
You know, you got your Black Enterprise top 100 businesses. Number one is a brother here in St. Louis, Dave Stewart. He does about 9 or 10 trillion. No, yeah. Wait a minute. Let's see. No, 9 or 10 billion. But we have to have, well, I ain't going to say we, but it would be nice if black business is comprised of the Black 1,000 rather than top 100, had a top 1,000. Increase it by tenfold. If you do that, if that ethnic group that we call black gets to that point, now you really making some noise.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
that's real change.
Those businesses range from $1 billion businesses on down to maybe about 20 million. the average 80 some odd percent of black businesses gross less than $50,000. That's crazy. But it can be better.
Right. But see, that's what I'm saying. We got to get more focused. But a lot of times we're not even thinking economy. Now we got a lot of these guys saying economics and economic power, and it's still not giving us that economy understanding.
Mhm.
We're not thinking about that.
And they got to start looking into where the trends are going. The trend is going into space and space related applications. You know, the trends is not going to be covered wagons or Clanford type vehicles going down the road. So we have to start looking into those areas. The application of technology is what's going to make money. The technology is there. It's how you apply, how you take that technology and apply it toward everyday living, filling a need that people want. They can't do without.
Right. Yeah, but see, again, if you're a worker, you're not thinking like that. You see what I'm saying? It's like, I think that's one of the biggest problems that we have. Mm-hmm. We're used to serving people, working for people, so we're never going to have that mind frame of take over, controlling something. Any of these terms that can be used as power, we don't think of because we don't see ourselves in the position of power. We only see ourselves being used by power. So we don't even think, how do we, you know what I'm saying, have our own shit. It's sad and depressing at the same time.
Right, and get into something that you do good. I mean, you can't get into making salami. Hell, Italians been making salami since the days of Caesar.
Right. Yep. We were good cooks. One thing black people knew how to do back in the day, knew how to cook chicken, all of this shit. Now, nothing.
And fix stuff so it'll be healthy, you know what I mean? We can't be piling our plate up 2 feet tall.
No,
have to have a wheelbarrow to take your plate to your table.
Well, we used to invent shit. You don't even see people being creative enough to think about nothing. Like every time I see us now, we're comfortably in the position of being toys for like liberal white America. And we're comfortable there.
Well, your kids are not exposed to that stuff. You know, like, when I was coming up, we had surplus electronics store. You had Radio Shack, Allied Electronics. We had another shop called Gateway Electronics. They had surplus electronics. I would go in there and get the pieces, the diodes, the transistors, the resistors, the lights to make a project. I started off by taking my grandfather's TV apart. And if I didn't have that sucker back together by the time he got home, I got my ass whooped. So that's how I learned. Mm-hmm. So those things, and believe it or not, those things sound elementary or antiquated, but that's how when you give a child a little project and give them the pieces to make it, even if it's just a blinking light with resistors, capacitors, and a timer and an LED, and hook a battery up to it and it start blinking, man, they're going to say, wow. And then it's on.
Yeah, we got to change our narrative.
Yeah. Well, look, man, I'm going to let y'all go ahead on to your next day. It's kind of late.
Yeah, but as always, brother, man.
I hope I was able to add to the conversation. Yeah, check all this stuff out. I'm going to be wondering, where are they at, man? Man, they don't start their own business. They ain't got time for you no more, Pianki.
That's what we working towards. Man. We trying to turn this from speaking to action and passing this on to the next generation, man, so my sons can have some. So yeah, we trying to get to that level, man.
All right, man. I'll see y'all later. Good night.
All right, man. Peace and Black Power.
Take care, man.
Yeah, but like always, man, that was definitely a good call. You know what I'm saying? Got a lot of good information to that one. Phone numbers and everything. That's on record. So you can always get it.
Everything I pulled up came up. The Next Gen and a couple other ones. The international joint that's gonna be in Atlanta.
Alcorn State University.
Yeah, so it's on record. So to all the listeners, just go and check those joints out and see what you can find out there. Cause it'd definitely be cool. I want to look at that. That expo. To see exactly, who's gonna be there. Because they got a list of the sponsors and the products that's in here. So, you pretty much can go in and see who.
And you know what?
What's
it's
what?
.com and it's .org.
Oh, they got it covered.
Yeah, it's .com and .org. I had typed .com in there too, and it's .com, but it's also .org.
Yeah,
but I'm checking this out.
.com is what I'm on.
I'm gonna check this out, and I'm gonna go to this, because see the most important thing in it is just to go, just to see what it is. What is this new technology? What are these products? How much does it cost? You know what I'm saying? You might have something. You might got something. You might have a T-shirt making business where you got a room the size of your garage. It could be in your garage, and you keep your cars outside, and you in there just mass producing T-shirts and shit.
Be like a smaller station, a newer station that's quicker, and some shit like that. Yeah.
You could, like I said, you could have you a business in there where you mass producing fucking plates and forks or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't produce shit, and because we don't produce shit, that means everything is for us to do. You got the Red Cross. We need the black unk. You got the China bus. We need the African American bus. You know what I'm saying? Everything that these white people, Chinese people, Mexican, any other race have, black people supposed to have their own version of that. I was just telling that to my I was just telling that to my lady because that's on the list too, right? That's what we're speaking on, but can't speak on the show right now, right? What we're working on. But that's on the list too. Because I was telling her, I was like, that's supposed to be ingrained in our DNA. Where as a black man, you're not supposed to see another race of people inside your community making money. And you're a black man, and it's like, how I let this person slip by and opening a business in my neighborhood? You know what I'm saying? How I let that happen? Just like I was telling my lady, I'm like, black woman is not supposed to talk with high regard and esteem and whatever other terms about Dominicans opening up hair salons in your store, unless they black Dominicans. If they're not black Dominicans, why are you in there letting them do your hair, black woman? Why are you going to the Chinese store, letting them do your fingernails? You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be a black person. You dig what I'm saying? It's supposed to be a black person there doing your nails. A black person doing your hair. A black person doing this. A black person doing that. You're not supposed to be sitting over here feeling good that another race of people is taking your bread and feeding their family while you out here goddamn starving and shit with yours. You got high unemployment in your community while the people that do your hair and do your nails and sell you food got zero unemployment in their community. You backwards. But that's supposed to be ingrained in our bodies and our bones where it goes against our nature. That's just like right now, Smoke. If you saw a store and it was like two flaming gay ass niggas inside the store, and it's a corner store, and every time you go inside there, they do this it's like uber gay. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It's a corner store. It just so happens a gay nigga behind the counter. No, this shit is like uncomfortably gay. You know what I'm saying? This is like when you walk in the door, fucking glitter sprinkles down all over you and shit. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? It's raining. And the music starts. You know, the disco shit starts. You like, you know what? I'm good. I'll go to the other store. Like, I'm not going. You think what I'm saying? That's how we supposed to be feeling when we see other groups of people having businesses in our neighborhood. We're supposed to be like, yeah, I ain't going to that corner store over there, yo. I'm gonna go over here two blocks up to the black man's right there, yo. Straight up. I don't feel right going inside here and taking my money out and giving it to another group of people knowing that he gonna take the money out this neighborhood. I don't feel right. You dig what I'm saying? I don't feel right doing that. But these are things that we have to engrave and embed. But all that's got written down. All that's in the thing that we're working on, but not gonna speak on the show. So you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so that's what it is, man. That's what it is. So we're gonna shut this down, 11:18. You know what I'm saying? As always, go to that YouTube in Black America Radio on the YouTube. Listen to the new show, listen to the old show, put some comments, you know what I'm saying? If you got some questions, you got some comments, you got some, you know what I'm saying, something you agree or you don't agree with, trust me, I'll read it and I'll speak on it on the next show, you know what I'm saying? Facebook, in Black.America Radio or Bobby Black. You can put Bobby Black in the search on Facebook. Twitter, in Black America 7. Instagram, in Black America Radio. We might have a show